In today's video, we're talking about the worst facelift ever. One of those cases where a redesign just made things worse, turning decent cars into ugly ones or bad cars into absolute disasters. Of course, this is just my personal opinion. You might disagree, and that's totally fine. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Before we begin, just a quick note. I use AI voiceover since my English isn't fluent yet, but everything else, the ideas, script, research, editing, I do all by myself. And a big thank you to the channel sponsors for supporting this project. You guys are awesome. All right, let's get started. Let's start with the light examples, and then go step by step into total disaster. Take the GAZ 24 Volga. For the 1970s, it was a pretty decent car. Sure, compared to its Western counterparts, it lagged behind in some areas. But overall, not bad at all. The first facelift came in 1986. Nothing crazy, just the usual updates. The chrome grille was swapped for plastic. The door handles became more injury-safe. Hubcaps went plastic too. Pretty standard stuff for an aging model. You'd think that was the final update, right? That the next step would be a brand new model, especially since the factory already had some promising prototypes. But nope. In 1991, they introduced a new Volga, which was actually just a reworked version of the same old 70s car. The design? Honestly, it wasn't great. And for some reason, they often painted this version in dull beige or gray, which only made the outdated design look even more tired. Meanwhile, back at the factory, new models were in development, actual modern concepts. But you already know where this is going. In 1997, yet another new Volga was released. Yes, another facelift. Sure, it looked a bit nicer, but underneath, still the same old 70s platform. And it didn't stop there. More prototypes followed, more hype. And then, yet another facelift. This is one of those rare cases where the facelift wasn't terrible in design, but terrible in principle. Because every time they chose to update the old model instead of launching something new, the factory was basically killing its own future. Honestly, they probably should have done what they did with the Bukanka van. Leave the design as is and embrace its classic look. No need for forced modernization. Even though, to be fair, there were some attempts to update that one too. Next up, the Peugeot 206. I used to love this car, especially its design. It looks so stylish, so effortlessly French, with that unique charm only Peugeot could pull off. But then in 2009, the designers decided to give it a refresh. And thus, the Peugeot 206 Plus was born. And oh boy, it was bad. From some angles, it might look okay. But once you see it from the wrong side, it's obvious. The front end looks like it was taken from a completely different car and just slapped onto the old body. To me, it's like a dog that got stung by a bee right in the face. All the elegance and balance of the original 206, gone. What we got instead was a weird, half-baked parody of the Peugeot 207. Why did they even bother? And who at Peugeot thought this was a good idea? It's a mystery. Honestly, they should have just kept making the classic 206, maybe with minor tweaks. Because the 206 Plus didn't improve anything, it just scared people off. Next up, the 2005 Subaru Forester. Now, the original 2002 Forester wasn't a beauty queen by any means, but it looked fine. Just a regular no-nonsense crossover. But then came the 2005 facelift, and seriously, there are people who think this looks good. Maybe they say it channels Subaru's sporty spirit? Personally, I was shocked when I saw the first photos. I couldn't believe they were actually going to put this into production. I guess they were aiming for a more aggressive front end. But instead, it ended up looking like some kind of commercial van, where design is the last thing anyone cares about. It's like someone tried to give it a mean face, and then just stopped designing altogether. Next up, the Indian Mercedes, known as the Force Traveler 26. This is actually a licensed copy of the Mercedes T1, still produced in India under the local brand force. And to be fair, it's a solid workhorse, reliable, time-tested, and easy to maintain. At first, it looked exactly like the original Mercedes. Later, the Indian team gave it a facelift, and you know what? It didn't look bad at all, even kind of charming. But then, they decided to facelift it again. And honestly, they probably should have stopped while they were ahead. No, it's not ugly. But why mess with a classic? The original Mercedes T1 design is clean, functional, and still holds up today. It's iconic, not outdated. This new front end, totally generic and absolutely unnecessary. A facelift like this doesn't improve the T1, it just waters it down. Some designs are better left untouched. You know what? That Indian Mercedes? It's honestly not that bad. At least the design doesn't make you cringe. But you know what's truly bad? The Chinese Ford Transit. It all started out okay. From 2006 to 2013, China's JMC and Ford had a joint venture building fourth-gen Ford Transits. They assembled the older models right alongside the newer sixth-gen ones. And up until 2013, the Chinese version looked almost identical to the original. If you weren't a car nerd, you probably wouldn't notice any difference. But then in 2017, they decided to bring the old Transit back from the dead and gave it a facelift. And, yeah, just look at it. Calling it ugly is an understatement. They took Ford's clean, straightforward design and turned it into some kind of angry-faced cartoon van. Then, in 2021, the model, now renamed Jiangling Teshin, got yet another facelift. Okay, it's not as terrifying as the 2017 one, but still. Why mess so hard with a perfectly recognizable, functional design? Who thought it was a good idea to slap such an angry, aggressive face on a work van? Seriously, if that thing shows up in a nightmare, good luck sleeping again. And finally, let's talk about the Iranian Renault Logan, which has been in production since 2007. In 2023, the Iranians decided to reimagine the original Logan's design and unveiled a heavily updated version. What can I say? It doesn't look great. But honestly, did we expect anything else? I can't think of a single example in automotive history where a radical facelift of an old model actually turned out well. This version is called the Pars Kodro Cadilla L90. And interestingly enough, it now comes with a Peugeot EC5 engine, producing 115 horsepower. You can pair it with a 5-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic. As for the design, and again, this is just my opinion and you might disagree, but to me, it looks awful. All these trendy updates only make it more obvious that this is still a 2007 Logan, trying desperately to look like something it's not. The original Logan became, if not iconic, then at least beloved and instantly recognizable. It deserved a redesign that was respectful and subtle, not this slap on a new face and call it modern treatment. The Logan's identity? Thrown in the trash. What we got instead is just something random. A hard thumbs down for me on this one. Oh, and by the way, I have a full video about the history of the Renault Logan on this channel. Links in the description. Make sure to check it out if you haven't seen it yet. That's it for this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure some of you will disagree with me, and that's totally fine. That's what the comments section is for. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.